All right, and we are live. The last word. LordCognito, Ebontis, Tie Guy, Travis, fresh on that Thursday evening campfire. Gentlemen, the cheetah, how we doing, sir?
Doing good. Been busy.
Mhm.
Been basically 3 days of the hair standing up on the back of my neck, but we'll get to that towards the later part of the show.
Ooh.
Been enjoying that one though, so I'll give you guys kind of my full thoughts. As I'm like 95% of the way there, so we're almost there. We got some
Nice.
TWAB information, TWID, one of these days.
Mhm. One of these days.
And yeah, just kind of seeing at least the releases slowly now. Like we might be calming down going into November finally, which is weird because I know we still got like Call of Duty in there, but it just feels like a lot of the year has been released at this point. So we've only
Mhm.
got Call of Duty, Avatar, maybe a couple others, but there's not anything major that I can picture that I'm looking forward to, at least.
All right. Nah, I feel you. I feel you. Trav, man, what's been going on with you, bruh? What's
Did you
going
just say
on?
there's not anything major you're looking forward to?
Yes, he did.
I mean, a new season of Destiny, or
You need to look at the calendar, my friend.
I'm missing
There's
something.
a lot of games.
There's a
coming
lot
out
of
this year.
games. For me, I know
yeah.
there's a couple.
And you're
Oh no,
insulting
you're like a
Cog here.
dragon.
You're insulting
Yes.
Like a
Cog
dragon.
here. Our friend Cog,
Mhm.
creative director of Asgard's Wrath 2. I think you're insulting him. Okay.
Oh no,
Salute,
hold on.
salute.
I forgot one. Thirsty
There we go.
Suitors is coming out on November 2nd.
Great game.
Have you seen the preview? Have you seen the preview for that?
Yeah,
I remember
that
that
game
one.
looks sick.
The
The
game.
game looks sick.
Like a Dragon, the man who may erase his name.
Man, erase his
It's the
name.
day before Call of Duty.
And for me is what you call it, Persona Tactics.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Mario RPG, like it's a re-release. That one I'm not counting
Yeah.
because like that one, when I get around to it, whenever that may be, that's the thing. Gangs of Sherwood, I think, just got moved.
Mm-hmm.
Avatar, I don't know if it's going to hit that date. We will see. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple more. Talos Principle 2 is finally officially going to be out. I know there are a couple. I'm just saying a lot of what I've been kind of eyeing as the year has been going on. Is we're on the downhill slope finally.
Yeah, yeah. For you, you good. Chav, what's been going on? How many? We got 8 reviews. What we doing?
8 reviews. No, I did do a bunch of reviews this week. None of them are live. The review in progress for Lord of the Rings Return to Moria is online, but I've already finished the full review and it'll be live probably during this podcast.
Ooh.
And then I've got a review for a DLC for Dead Island 2. And then next week I'll have my review for WarioWare up. So 3 reviews this week. Also did some previews, most of which I can't really talk about, I don't think. Can I? Oh, I can talk about the one that came out earlier this week, Asgard's Wrath 2, speaking of which, which I played a couple hours of at the Meta offices. Got to hang out. I sat at your desk that they have over there.
You sat at my desk while you were doing it.
I took my shoes off, put my feet up on the desk.
You violated.
Kept your seat nice and warm for you. It was nice. And it was cool. It was really cool. I'm very curious to see how that game turns out because the ambition is, hey, let's make a AAA 60+ hour open world RPG with all the trimmings, companions and mounts, and side quests and all the stuff that you can imagine. And let's put all of that in a VR game and see if players can do that. And from the couple hours I played, it seems like they might do it, man. They might pull it off. Which if they do, I mean, for those who don't know, that game comes bundled with the MetaQuest 3. And like, that's quite a statement because if that is your flagship game, really the only problem is their timing is a little off because I feel like they already missed the launch window. It's kind of like
that'd have been perfect
when Halo Infinite got delayed when the Xbox came out. But if that game ends up being as good as it looks, I mean, that's going to be huge. I'm going to try to review that one. I think I'm going to make that my December game. We'll see if I can.
Always got to be reviewing something.
Yeah. Look, I'm not playing video games unless somebody's paying me. Come on, guys.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. I respect that.
That's not true at all. I'm very excited to play Alan Wake 2 for free and Ghost Runner 2. I want to play that. But yeah, I've been sort of living in the future for the past like 3 weeks. Like all the games that are coming out now that people are excited about, like I've just not had time for it because I'm playing games that aren't out yet. And for better or worse. Actually, for worse recently. A lot of the games I've been reviewing have been pretty bad. So you guys will see some of those scores pop up.
Yeah,
not all of them are good. Not all of them are high.
Don't worry, it's like say. Travis is gonna balance out his year, it sounds like. That's all I know.
Yeah. The back end is it's funny because last year I did 25 reviews in a year, which at the time was more reviews than anybody had done. And now I'm looking at it like, dude, I could have easily done 25 reviews this year if I took less big games, fewer large games.
Well, I mean, those big ones have to count, though. Like, I mean, your Hogwarts
like
and other stuff has to count for like 6 Nerf Legends or something.
Diablo 4 was one review, and it took me a month and a half because I had to review both of the betas. I had to review the, you know what I mean? Like I made
count.
3.
Those are 3 different previews
and then like Starfield I didn't review, but I made like a crap load of video guides for that, and I played 200 hours of it and stuff like that. Jesus. So the fact that it looks like I'm going to get close to exactly the amount I did last year with all of the other stuff I did this year is pretty darn cool. So I'm having a good time, man. The life of a writer. It's a good time.
Yeah, man. For me, it's been actually I'm in depression right now, man. I'm such a Tekken guy, and Tekken 8's closed beta is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. So when it went past through, I literally, like, it took away from my Spider-Man. I was like, man, this game is, I really like what they're doing. They've got this online lobby system now where they kind of simulate, like you make like a little avatar, then you simulate an arcade, and they have like a setup there. But UE5 is phenomenal. This game is gorgeous. And Mortal Kombat looks amazing. This game looks better than Mortal Kombat, and it's saying something. So I'm pulling for them. That looks great. And then what else I've been doing? It's that. And and then I've been actually playing the game that we podcast about.
What?
actually finally got into spooky season, and we'll talk about that. But I finally was in the loop and was pleasantly surprised to see one of the glitches from the headless thing that after you kill a bunch of them and then you have to wait.
Oh yeah, they fixed that.
I was like, oh, okay. All right, so we got that. But yeah, I've been playing some Destiny, trying to get my spooky season on my page. I watched your video, E, on that. And got their grenade launcher. Seems to be a little bit of controversy with that one. We'll see what's going on. And I got to
seem to be worth like grinding for.
Yeah,
it's not.
I am grinding for the memento. That's my goal.
That's fair. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
It's like if you're you're grinding for the grenade launcher, it's like you have better things to do with your time.
Yeah, I was like, I got better things to do with this. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Well, I mean, you can start. Like, how has movie season been treating you? Like, as we are jumping straight into Destiny 2 here.
Well, it's more the same, right? But to me, the MVP is Amaro. I'm here for Amaro and his foolishness. I am here for him clowning the Guardian. I'm here for Eris being snappy with the comebacks. Just foolishness on, in general. I think he's a good addition just to spice it up, but it's Festival of the Lost. It's I guess, what is it? They added the perks to the perk pool of like horror story, and they kind of did like a graphical rework of the thing. I haven't touched the legend lost sectors. I'm gonna defer to you guys on that, but I've been running a ton of regular. Now the spectral pages, E, correct me if I'm wrong, you still have to get those outside of the activity, which I hate.
Yep.
That I hate. I'm like, bro, I actually like lost sectors because it's quick, it's fun, you get in, boom, boom, okay. And then I got like a little strategy. All right, you guys are running the C. I already know it's going to spawn A and B on the other side. I'm going to be like, it's coordinated. It's fun. It's quick. Why I got to play the other things I don't like?
And the best part is they've taken away the mission farms from, it was Witch Queen. Now it's Lightfall's missions. They took those farms away. One was based off a free mission, but you can run through there and get one now. You can at least run the mission. You can run the mission, at least get like 9 before, now you get 1.
That's crazy.
They do not want you farming. You may as well not even run like a Nightfall. It's not any better than a Vanguard Ops, and Vanguard Ops is just easier.
So what's the highest point source now that they've taken away the hustle?
I mean, if the missions are truly just like not good, fastest is either going to be probably if you can get on a good public event rotation on ADZ. But you do, if you're going for the triumphs, you do need to do some crucibles. So find your fastest playlist, whether it's Rumble. Last week was Momentum Control, which was quick. Right. Obviously, just don't play Gambit. But yeah, Vanguard Ops honestly is easy because you can get about 4 to 5, and everybody just like sprints through those things. They take like 8 minutes. And if you're trying to hunt down public events, waiting for them to start, it's hit or miss. Like if you know certain public events, you're like, ooh, that's going to start now. Like, yeah, go jump over there. Do the thing that takes like 90 seconds to kill an entire boss in public event that used to take us a little more time. Nuke that, and then go, if you get a bad rotation, then go do strikes. But for me, Momentum Control wasn't bad just because I like how guns are very lethal. I mean, it takes like one burst with a pulse rifle and they're generally dead. And last week also was double Nightfall rewards. We had Vanguard Reputation, and this week it all went over to double Valor. I'm like, well, so I didn't get to grind as much last week as I would have liked to just kind of wrap it all up. But I was also waiting last week for things to get fixed.
Yeah, because I heard it was a lot of issues, right? There was
that was the issue last week, was the fact that we had the headless ones, heads will roll. So when you killed the headless ones in the lost sectors, it didn't count for the triumph. Normal.
That's bad.
In Legend, it would count. But in Legend, depending on who you get match made with, you might get 4. Now, granted, they do count for extra. So you kill one headless one in Legend, it counts for 3. You want to know the annoying thing about that? You kill a headless one, it counts for 3 on the triumph, but it does not convert 3 pages, it converts 1. So if you want to convert the pages, you may as well still go do normal. So they can't actually make the higher difficulty thing, again, worth it.
How are we feeling about the Bible scriptures that we gotta turn in every
Bible scripture?
How you feeling about that, yo? I just fell
out of the camera. How does that tell you how I feel?
When we reading story time.
We're on volume 3. Does that tell you anything? I think the count of pages that you need this time is technically less, but they also seem more stingy to get them, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, Travis, how are we feeling about that, man? I'm curious.
I mean, you can look at my playtime to see how I feel about
it. I'm gonna guess that's low because you've been busy with other things.
Have you taken a stand?
I did log on. I got the opening mission, and then I saw that it was the same activity, and I went, nah. And that was it. I just logged off.
Like, I'm good.
I'll be honest with you, because I did Crota. We've been doing Crota every Friday.
Nice. Oh, and, nice.
Because we're trying to get Necrochasm and all that. And so I've been doing Crota every week, and then last Friday I logged off of Crota and I went to the tower. I got the mission. I saw the Halloween decorations. I checked out the masks that were available. I just look at my backlog of 40 masks I've never put on, and I was like, I just don't have it in me. I just gave up. Like a feeble old man at the end of his rope deciding not to get up after he's fallen down. He lives down there now.
I feel you. E, what about you? Did you are you filling out the grind? Are you doing
dabbled, but as I said, I got busy this week for
reasons.
For reasons. Oh my god,
for reasons.
There's Travis.
Got busy.
Oh, he got busy. He fed the dogs. He did a lot.
He fed the dogs.
He fed the dogs today, man.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
I will tell you, with what I've been staring at on the screen, that is not that. That is not even close to that.
Not even close.
Absolutely zero innuendo in this game. I'll cover that a little bit later.
I like it.
I just sometimes don't even know how to respond to you, Travis. It's fine. I gotta let him go. I have dabbled, but my last week was I was in limbo. I was waiting for Limbo. Very good game, by the way.
Nice. Yes. Oh, yeah. Excellent.
But I was waiting for them to fix stuff because the headless ones will roll, and then I'd be like, okay, I would be sitting in orbit going, okay, what is the best way for me to do this? Do I go see what's a good solo run? But then they're going to fix this. So I was just kind of standing in orbit going, I don't know what to do. So I just didn't play for nearly as much last week as I would have liked.
Makes sense.
Mostly just waiting until, and then they finally turned around and said, this is fixed, these work. Okay, now you can go do whatever you're going to do. I was just annoyed when I finally did go into a Legend Lost Sector. The first time I did it, I don't know if I told you last week. First time I did it, I got paired with like a 17 61 and a 1782, and it's a legend activity.
Yeah,
it's 1815, and I'm going, I don't want to do that again. So I wanted to kind of let the crazy get out of there, and then the more crazy dedicated people will at least probably be around my level. So I had a better interaction the second time, and we got a few down. But those legend lost sectors are kind of like master lost sectors. There's not a great balance in the difficulty. It's really easy or a bit much. They shouldn't be called legend. Now there is matchmaking. I will give them that.
What is matchmaking in
There's
legend?
actually matchmaking.
Oh, I was scared. I didn't even try it for that.
No.
Oh,
and I know. And this is the one time the matchmaking is not listed on the description.
It's not listed.
Nope.
Yeah, because that's the reason why I did. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not doing that until I get the homies.
It actually has it in there. And you need to probably do it once. So you may as well just knock it out early.
Yeah, because there's she's got a bounty for that, right? Where it's like all the,
seasonal challenge. Yeah, it's not bad to do once, but the benefit of like, okay, I can kill. If you have a really good group, you could go in there and knock out the heads. We'll roll triumph. But if you need to still convert the pages, you may as well go back to normal because it's easier to convert the same number of pages.
Gotcha.
If I could do legend and you could convert stop saying sorry, I'm just getting on myself. If you could convert 45 pages in one run, if you had a really good run, or I do it again. So see, I'll be in my head.
You're good.
No, it's just one of those things that I had pointed out to me recently. I haven't done it in a while. But
someone pointed it out to you. Is that why? So now you're self-conscious. Okay,
exactly.
I was like, why is he?
No.
Okay.
It's one of those. Over the course of my life, it's one of the things that I have used as a crutch.
Yep.
Everybody has those filler words. I know you probably do.
Terrible, yeah.
We all do, but that one's mine. So when I actually catch myself saying it, I trying to be more aware of it. But legend for me is one of the weird things where if you made it worth the effort, even if I only kill maybe 8, but then I converted 24 pages over and the 3x multiplier went for the triumph in the pages, I would probably spend the time in there for more difficulty just to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's my issue with that is mostly because it just doesn't feel worth it. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, it's Festival of the Lost, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, historically,
or
it's
like
that,
Festival of the Lost Me.
Yeah, I mean, I totally, bro. I had to fight for motivation, and it was literally the momentum. It wasn't until I saw Tassie's tweet, and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. I was like, all right, I want that little memento, jet black kind of thing. But other than that, I think it was Cross had a video about the grenade. They're all bad at Aster Cross right now. I don't know if you know about like his rating that it's high, like it's good, and people are like, bro, I got Revenant or whatever that's better than that, or I got this that's better than that. Like, why are you going so hard for it? So there's a little controversy because he's like rating that thing high. But
I think
other than that,
when it comes to a craftable weapon, some people may or may not have, but as it is currently still an available season,
right?
That's where it's kind of hard. If it was from, I don't know, 2 years ago, it might be a different story.
Yeah, and the what is it? The origin trade's kind of weird, right? It's like, what is it? Crouch down. What is it?
No, I hate that.
That's the other one.
That's where. What is it? You get a benefit head rush when you get from standing up or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm like, all right, who thinks this is a good idea? Not this guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that one was that.
I was even trying to see if I actually have a weapon from this event. Oh, here we go. Search party. It's this thing again. If no allies are within 15 meters, you get ADS movement penalty reduction, and then ADS animation. So it's faster. It's better ADS benefits if you're by yourself.
Right.
Which is
solo player. Which is you.
Odd.
Which is you.
Yeah. But it doesn't seem like it's compared to other Orange and Trade, it's a very odd one.
Yeah.
If you take that into a raid, it's actually worse. That's strange.
Yeah, technically.
Get used to it feeling one way, then you play with your friends, and now you need to find something different.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, it's Festival of the Lost, bro. That's what it is. The only thing I think
you can focus exotics. If you get Eerie Engrams and you run out of stuff to do, you could technically throw some exotics down.
I will give them that. I feel like thematically it fits with Season of the Witch in a way, because it's like we continue in spooky, kind of stuff, and the whole Eris stuff and stuff like that. But other than that, it's like, it again, if it wasn't for the Imaru dialogue, to me, the integration into it, which I got a good laugh out of. It's pretty much the same, but it's a mindless, quick, fun activity. Get in there, bang, 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 and then you get what you got to get. But I don't feel that, like you said, the juice is worth the squeeze to like be grinding super long or doing legends and all of that stuff super long.
Well, to get the memento, you need to do the heads will roll thing, and that's why I didn't really play it last week because
there was a counting.
Yep. So I was just gonna wait.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
We did get a weapon tuning preview.
Ooh.
We got 2 articles. We got weapon tuning preview for season 23. That was on Wednesday, yesterday. And then today we did get a TWID with a few juicy tidbits, actually. So some changes for 23 are coming. Again, no idea what the story is going to be in 23, but this is the season they're going to try and cram as much as they can in. So when they do their ridiculous marketing push for Final Shape, all this other stuff hopefully is better. So, weapon archetypes.
Yes, let's get to it. I missed it.
A couple, they updated the reload animation.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're
do what you got to do.
What
you got to do. We got you, bro. We got you.
Travis is going to take a nap while we talk about Destiny, and then he will be back. So it's fine.
He'll be back after once the Destiny section concludes.
I have to screen my review because it's going live during the show, remember?
You good, bro. Do what you got to do.
You're good. Auto rifles. So against minor targets, they're getting just a 10% boost.
Ooh, okay. All right. Autos are coming back. You should be happy. This is you.
Why am I auto rifle guy?
You're team auto.
I'm team pulse.
True, but you liked when autos were strong.
No, there's a difference. I enjoy using autos sometimes. You loathe them.
I probably do.
Yeah, so there's a difference there. You can't throw me under the bus. Yours is more of a hatred aggression. Mine is I'm okay with the option.
I'm more like pulses should always be higher than you kind of thing. I'm an elitist with that. I will admit. Continue.
So again, I have to defend myself on the show because
you are correct. You are correct. I am slandering.
Pulses increase damage against minors and majors by 12.5%.
Ooh, dad bod pulses. Let's go.
Now this I support. I am good here. Okay. You got your gravitons. You got your. Why can I never remember the one from Vow that I love?
Oh, I love the collective obligation, baby.
No.
Is it collective obligation?
I'm talking about the legendary one.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
what's the aggressive 4 burst that we both like.
Oh, you talk in the kinetic disparity
arc.
Oh, you talk about from Vow. Oh, you talk about. I know you talk about the one that can run demo and rampage. Oh, that's the Insidious. Thank you, Reginald.
There it is.
Yeah, Insidious. That's the. I haven't dusted off Insidious. I've actually. It's been overtaken for me. It's been my new dad.
Mine's overtaken by every SMG that I switch between. Do I just put on Might and Multi-Tool? Do I put on iClose or do I put on Funnel Web? Because
the SMG
those are the fun ones.
Yeah, for sure, of course.
And then you go heavy and you go kinetic for Arbalist or typically. I did finally get a Strand Fusion, so I've got that as an option. Nice. And then I've got Riptide still doing its thing because it's still better than half the stuff that's going to sit in that slot. Arbalist is still good up there.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very boring in my PvE ways right now. I just want my I want my easy melt. I have a SMG that shoots lightning to other things when you get Volt Shot over and over and over. It's hard to take that off unless it's
hard to take that off.
Unless it's completely against the surges and stuff like that.
Yes. Audible mention though, what I'm in love with post wise is I always butcher it. Philo Tactic, the one from Neil Muna.
Oh,
that was very hard to get because I've got a Volt Shot and over under roll, and it is sick. And it's a 340, and 340s are my favorite pulses.
Philo Tactic Spiral. I had to look it up.
Yeah, I love the Spiral. I am such a fan. With the Volt Shot and over under, it's beast to me. I love that thing. And I run it with my arc build. You could get real serious damage with it. Shout to back. He's team auto. But yeah. I hear you on SMGs. SMGs are fun.
It's mostly the synergy of Void 3.0, Solar 3.0, Arc 3.0. When those perks are hitting in the energy slot,
so good.
And SMGs are just fast enough to where if I had Volt Shot on, say, I'm trying to remember what the Iron Banner auto is, which I have it on there. Doesn't
doesn't
quite feel the same as Ikelos. So then I just tend to resort back. Which shout out to Ascendant Nomad. He had a good video this week, which Aztecross did a reaction to. It was basically just there's a weapon problem. Since what did he say? Since Beyond Light came out, we have had 340 weapons launch. We're just kind of diluting the excitement over whatever is new or if something's good.
Yeah.
Part of it is you should just have fun with what you want, but also unless you get into power creep, is anything really going to be that exciting? It's this vicious cycle we're in at this point where a lot of people seem to be coming around on this weird little idea. What was it called? Sunsetting. That's the one. Hey.
Oh, hey.
It's more the fact, I think, at this point, we just need a D3. And if Travis has the right idea where episodes can give them enough time to stretch to get us to some bigger thing, then I will support that.
Yeah, it's definitely time. I can see that.
Let's see. Glaives. So they are working on projectile speed by 30%. Projectile damage in PvE 25%, and then PvP they decrease the projectile damage a little bit.
Yeah, there's some dudes out there running roughshod on people.
They reduce the delay after firing before you can melee to 0.2 instead of 3/4 of a second, so that's better. Shields recharge passively when the glaive is just held. Set up the glaive shield damage resistance to be tiered in PvP. So I know the damage resistance in PvE is, I think, pretty substantial. I would have to go back and look, but I remember it being like 85, 95, some ridiculous amount. So you've got that. Oh, what's up, Aries? How you doing?
Hey, peace. What's up, brother?
Might be a hot take, but I was 100 fine with sunsetting, including exotics. Me too. I'm with you.
He was there. He was on the front lines with you. I give E that. We fought, but I have conceded that was the right call long term because they definitely weren't prepared to even do it the first time.
The difference is you guys also felt vindicated soon after when it happened because it wasn't executed well.
Yeah, that's all.
If we execute right, would have been given this constant influx of new stuff, and if they would have delivered on the promise of we delete your old stuff, we make cool stuff.
Yes.
That cycles in and out.
And remember, they didn't even have archetypes available. Remember, we need a void. Anybody's got a void auto?
Yeah, a solar bow doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. Yeah, I remember that.
And that's kind of one of those things I was sitting there thinking about, kind of a comparison between Diablo 4, because the second season is getting a little resurgence. I haven't checked it out yet, but I've heard people are enjoying it more. I know we kind of have the artifact for our seasonal boost that is temporary, but we don't have our weapons get quite the same thing, if that makes sense. Sometimes the seasonal boost, but even the seasonal mods, which now the artifact is almost just boosts because they're passive, we haven't had one that's been as strong as the linear fusion rifle God mode one or grenade launcher God mode. They've been kind of toning some of those down to be builds, not so much this is God mode. And I think probably going to be weird for me to say this. I think I almost missed the point where, at least in a new season, it'd be grenade launchers are going to be probably your best damage. And the next season, linear fusions are probably your best damage because the mods will steer you that way. Now, it's kind of this, I don't know. We go through these phases of what they're using to change Destiny, and this is just kind of another variation of that. I'm still curious what they're going to do with Final Shape. But it does feel a little weird. I don't want to say everything's being watered down, but it is the normalization of a lot of stuff. The artifact is coming down a little bit. We can't get too much power creep on new perks, so it's a whole lot of horizontal because they're afraid to go vertical.
Yeah, I get that. I think that's fair. For me, I will give them credit. Like, a lot of times when they bring some stuff down, I'm gonna have a dissenting opinion. I personally feel the community sometimes overreacts and thinks that it is now trash, that archetype completely. Now there are some examples where it's like, okay, this archetype needs love. But then, like, I've been using linears this season. I've been using the solar one from not Val from the legendary solar that's not as good as the Val one because that has bait and switch. But the one with my man in it, Nazareth. Why am I blanking on the raid? Root of Nightmares, right?
Wait, are you talking about the Trace? Or are you talking about
No,
linear?
not trace. Linear. The solar linear. I think it's like Brigands or something. And bro, that is really good. Like Briar's Contempt. And like I've got my Reconstruction, Focus Fury, and it's an aggressive frame, right? And bro, it's when that Focus Fury props, it's really good. Yeah. So my thing is, I think that things overall there's some outliers where some archetypes are still really bad, but I think overall everything is kind of close. And then there's certain perks that take certain archetypes to be very competitive. You know what I'm saying? Now that's a little problem, I think, in the sense that it shouldn't be reliant on certain perks for it to be actually good. Otherwise, the whole rest of the class is garbage. You know what I'm saying? But I think overall they're in a good place. I just think that they right now, where you're going with the meta, like the season of the grenade launcher, where was that? Grenade launcher.
And I mean, I say it out loud, and I'm not entirely sure if I honestly do want that, but also, I mean, Nomad actually said it really well in his video, because you can have 300 weapons come out over the course of 3 years,
right?
But 85% of the content doesn't matter what you use. Basic stuff, you may want certain perks for PvP, but unless you're running Day 1 raids, GMs, Master Lost sectors, any of the highest couple levels of activities, which probably a lot of people don't even do, don't require you to care too much about your loadout, whether you use an auto rifle or a hand cannon. If you use something that feels good to you, you're going to kill the basic level red bar enemies that are in front of you. And as a group, you're probably going to trip and stumble your way through any strike that probably comes your way. So that was one piece that I thought was a really good idea. Like, it was a good message to say that there's not really an in-between. It's either too easy or too hard. Legend is supposed to be that.
Right.
But it doesn't ever feel like it's quite in between. You know what I mean? You do a Legend Lost Sector and do those over and over, and then Master takes like twice as long. Or if you do Legend versus Master, it just, the difficulty,
it's extremes.
The difficulty is weird in Destiny right now, and that's one of those things I think they're still trying to balance out.
Yeah.
So
it's a good point. I agree. I think that I think what it is they've, this way it come. When I see all these things coming up to kill red bars, to kill this, to me, this is catering to more of the casual base that they can be competitive. When we see, the currencies and all these things that are blockers preventing them from being competitive. And then I think with the extremely hard content, we have to be fair to Destiny in the sense, to Bungie, in the sense that a lot of times the hardcore, we complained like, yo, stuff is too easy. I want a challenge. And then they're like, all right, well, here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, but still, I think the hardcore are going to get through what they're going to get through. But I understand the point. There's less of a middle ground.
I think that is or fair. Nightmare. Yeah, there's not a normal. There's not something that's going to give you a bit of a challenge, make you think a little bit about your build and loadout, not be too punishing. But if you're not paying attention, you might actually struggle. You don't need to have the elite of all builds.
Yes.
But you need to be awake. There needs to be an awake difficulty, not just
I agree. Now, I will say the not Savathun Spire, the other one. What's the other one? I think that's a nice Alter. You got to be awake.
Oh, I mean, if you do tier 3, people die constantly because they don't know how to do it. Oh, look, here's 3 swords. Let me start this one off. Dead. It's like,
I think that's a nice challenge. Yeah, they've got some cool mechanics in there that you've got to pay attention, and it's on.
I hate it though if it's attrition and you've got 9 shriekers shooting you at the same time. I'm going, this isn't fair. This isn't right. There's a weird balance though, because you say that you do a 2 sword altar, and they're manageable. You got to be kind of awake, but it's not really that bad. And then you jump to it's always the jump to 3 is like you've jumped up to 4 or 5.
Yes, I agree.
The jump to that highest one is always a little more. The same thing as like the Legend Lost sectors. Next week, you got to run them at some point, just so I can see your experience. Because if you go run a normal run, you get your 10, you beat the timer, you knock out the bot, cool. Then you go do a Legend, whoa, hold on. I need to try and not die and actually play cover and think about my loadout and try and cover because I'm soloing this because the other two people I'm with anyway are real special.
I love it.
But we need the in-between. We need the medium. Yeah. Trying not to flip everybody off, but we have like 1, 2, 3. We have 1 and 3. We don't have the 2 in the middle. Yeah. No, read between the lines. No, I'm just kidding.
That was funny. Yeah, fair enough. I get that. I think, again, for the hardcore like us, I look forward to it because to me, it's like, yo, I really get to you know me, I'm all about builds. Yeah. So I get to challenge my build. I'm like, okay, is this truly effective in end game stuff? And yeah, like I finally got started messing with Weave Walker for the first time because I haven't touched Strand in a while, and I'm like, man, this is really powerful. I'm literally invulnerable for a few seconds, and then I can, and I've got some stuff going on with what you call the good old poison necrotic grip with the
Wait till next season with Thorns Catalyst, and then you'll be shooting from across the map and not missing, and then necrotic grips, and then
yeah, I'm with shenanigans. Like I enjoy that challenge, but to the overall point by Nomad, he is right. There is no middle ground. There should be more of a middle ground, but difficulty level. I think that's fair.
Let's see. We got snipers are getting a 15% across the board, including exotics. So Whisper is slowly clawing its way back to
15%,
doing some DPS. Yeah,
that's your thing. You use a sniper guy, right?
I don't mind using them. Now Darcy is probably still gonna suck. It just does.
Yeah.
Cloud Strike's gonna be a decent option if you got that, depending on what your loadout is. Whisper could be putting out some. I know for long DPS fights, I've seen different tests. If it's a long enough damage phase where ammo really matters after a long run, Whisper kind of is king because of how much ammo it can sit there and remake. But yeah, we'll just have to see. But it's intriguing. It is nice to see because in PvE, if I put one up in my kinetic slot, for example, it still just doesn't feel like it hits hard.
Yeah,
it feels weird. So weak. Even in aggressive, I'm talking. That word today is just going to be in my head. My old one that I use all the time. Long Shadow. It's just a kinetic Long Shadow. It's got rapid hit and triple tap.
Nice.
It's a good roll.
Nice.
It's an aggressive. It's it's adaptive. That one's 90. Anyway, snipers still just don't feel like they hit hard enough is mostly my point. I will say it bugs me sometimes when you get perks on sniper rifles. The perk wants you to get multiple headshots on red bars to have something along the lines of incandescent proc. I'm going, that is not what this gun is for.
Facts, yeah.
So it is weird. And I know not every roll is going to be a god roll. I get it. But some perk combinations on guns, they're just a slap in the face. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I agree. There's some of them are not functional for the archetype. I would give you that for sure. Yeah. I'm actually surprised they did the 15. I mean, any type of PvE damage for snipers because I know how cautious they are with we don't like you at distance and picking away the boss, and so
I think that just tells you how bad they've been for so long that they're still okay with this.
Yes,
I feel they have been nudging them a couple times. We got a 10%, we got a 15%. Not too much, a little bit of
just a little bit.
For you, since this is a gun, I'm pretty sure you've got Vex Mythoclast.
What we doing?
Red bar. 10%, bosses 25%, champions in the linear fusion rifle mode 200%.
Wow.
Yeah. Revision 0 is kind of in a similar category. Revision 0 is 100% for champions, and it's barrier intrinsic anyway. Thorn is going to.
Revision already had not to cut you. Didn't it? Was it anti-barrier intrinsic, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Thorn, let's go.
Thorn is getting Catalyst, 20 range, 10 stability. If you get a Remnant or pick one up, then you get range, handling, and mobility. Thorn is going to be hell to face in PvP, I'm pretty sure. So look forward to that one. The class glaives.
Oh, let's go. What's going on?
They're just getting a rework. They're saying they grant 1 ammo when you activate the perk, so you can use it even if you're out of ammo. No longer passively drains shield energy when you special reload to activate the perk. No longer deactivated by reloading or stowing the weapon.
Okay.
So the Warlock, you've got the
my baby, my healing. What we
Edge
doing?
of Intent. Change the effect to heal. Effect of the healing turret projectiles to grant cures and provide restoration. Increase the AoE radius to 8 meters to benefit more allies. Magazine size from 4 to 5.
Ooh, let me pull that out. Yeah, babe, I could go my full support role, which is what I wanted to do with that thing. Okay, let's go.
Edge of Action. Passing through the bubble now grants bonus reload speed, handling, and a small amount of stacking bonus damage in addition to the overshield. Reduce the health of the bubble to account for the increased uptime and improved effects. And then for the Hunter, the Lightning Seeker now jolts targets on impact, reduces the direct hit damage of Lightning Seeker to account for the free ammo granted. I would say the Warlocks won that one.
Yeah, we won.
I definitely feel like it.
I would agree.
Osteostriga, they removed the SMG damage bonus scaler that was affecting the poison damage. This brings Osteostriga poison down to match standard necrotic grip poison, though as an exotic it still does 40% bonus against minors, which one of the things I think in Nomad's video was that Necrochasm's not that good because Osteostriga does it without aiming. Maybe this will cover some of that.
Let's cover that, yeah.
Salvation's grip, I could probably skip that one because no one's going to use it. I'm just kidding. I want to know who is out there maining Salvation's grip. If you do,
you would know that dude.
If you do, please send me the screenshot. I want to see your kill tracker. I gotta know who's maining this thing.
Yeah, I gotta know how you living your life out here. Yeah, for sure.
Winter's Bite, they increased the detonation damage of the large projectile at 25%, and they reduced self damage from basically anything that it does, so you don't kill yourself with it. In the near future, they're looking at bow tuning and PvP, additional weapon tuning for Checkmate, aimed at better weapon diversity. Right now, Checkmate, I think, is hand cannon game. That's what I've heard. It's a 3-shot hand cannon if you're using, I think, a 140. So just the amount of time that you are exposed with a hand cannon is the absolute minimal for a time to kill. You're not just trying to aim down a lane with an auto or anything. You need 3 peeks and they're dead if you're good. In the future, Necrochasm will be getting a buff to extend the duration of poison damage over time, buffs to Truth, Colony, Dead Man's Tale. I don't know what they're going to do. Dead Man's Tale is something I know what they were going for PvP. But in PvE, I don't love that weapon.
I agree. I don't like it in PvP.
It doesn't feel like it fits PvE. PvP, sure. Arenas, going for the headshots, but that is not something for me that just works. Now, Colony.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's been a
minute.
It's been a hot minute. What are we on? Year 7?
Bro, I remember Colony like right around D2 launch. Like that was the rage. Especially PvP.
Pissing people off in PvP.
Yeah. I wonder what they're gonna do. I'm gonna assume it's a PvE related buff so that you could actually use it.
About 5,000% bonus damage just to make it relevant. I don't know what it needs.
200% against champions.
It needs a lot. It needs a lot.
Truth is surprising. Oh no, the Truth needs it. I'm getting confused with
Truth needs it.
I got confused with Two-Tail Fox. Because I was like, Two-Tail Fox is good right now, but Truth needs something. Like that's an OG that needs some help.
Heavy grenade launchers will get a substantial inventory buff. So if you can hold, say, 23, what is substantial to you? Because if we're talking Bungie speak, substantial could be like, hey, if you're holding a total of 23, you're up to 26 now. Like, calm down.
Yeah. So
what are you thinking? I gotta
maybe 30 or something like that. Something where it's like I'm
hoping it was at least 30.
Because what it is they don't got the raw damage, but I'm assuming that they're gonna make it for extended DPS phases. So it's like they'll have the edge that way. Because I'm telling you, Bungie's been on that lately, where it's like we're tuning stuff so that it's like a push-pull. If you need to get a boss out fast, you use certain specific weapons, but as the DPS phase continues, then it's like, this actually is better because
Netherrack's kind of a long phase, I would say.
Yes. I agree.
That's most of the tuning. I think.
Yeah, I like most of it. I like most of it. Excited about my Edgeman 10. We'll drive some posters out. Revision 0, that's big, man.
Revision's
Champions were
100%. I mean,
your that Vex, was already good already.
Yeah, your Vex will probably be fun.
Yeah, Vex is gonna be sick.
Snipers with another 15%. It's gotta be Darcy has so much ammo. And it's still terrible.
It's still terrible.
I don't know if 15% is gonna do Whisper, sure. That thing hits like a truck. But Darcy, man, you could give it 50 bullets, and I don't know if it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what the little 15% the snipers have got. So they're feeling comfortable doing that.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. A couple things from the Twid. Vault from orbit. You will be able to actually access your vault from orbit. They pulled engine wizardry, and you are going to be able to access your vault from your spaceship. Wow, I would honestly just say hats off to the IT people who figured this one out, because I have a hunch that was not something easy for them to do. They've been putting more and more things in orbit. You've got the store up there. I guess this is
store was very early.
That was gotta have Eververse everywhere. I mean, I'm gonna be at Failsafe on Ness's, and she's gonna have a portable store sitting next to her at some point. So that's gonna happen. No, I was honestly surprised. It's not a huge, giant, fancy announcement, but I think technically, I wonder if they had to pull some wizardry in the back end, or it's just more of their constant updates to the engine that they use. Just another one of those things that they've allowed certain things to work better than they used to, I'm guessing.
Yeah. No, I agree. I didn't see this coming at all. I mean, we've kind of resigned ourselves to the fact that, we're going to the tower, or we're using DEM, that kind of thing. So yeah, kudos to them. I'm surprised. I didn't think this would even be a priority for them to do. So that's what surprised me. Yeah, I was just like,
given all the other problems, it's
got to be one of those where some devs in a corner and be like, I got a little downtime. Let me see if I can work on something and not bust the game. And they're going, I think I got something. And then somehow it's got to be one of those things. And this is, making up developer stories, but it does feel like one of those things. Travis said it perfectly. This doesn't feel like it should be a priority. So somebody figured something out, and then
breakthrough.
The amount of work involved to actually implement it wasn't too crazy once the magic was figured out. So
somebody's research project stat was very high.
Yeah. The intern project, their final exam was, what crazy thing can you come up with, and actually pulled a rabbit out of a hat. So,
I can do it.
Yeah.
Shout out to the new hire.
Shout out to the project, the semester long project. Ghost mods are going to be cheaper, which will be good. Wombo detector, which you may as well leave that on anyway. It's going to be a whole 2 energy. Basically, your ghost is going to be cheaper to equip what you want to equip. All of your armor type things, they're just going to be 2 no matter what you're going for. Core harvest. Your ghost will have more functionality next season. So you're hopefully going to be able to set up each one of the columns, go for your bonus experience, choose a type of armor, get yourself, wombo detector. And then you probably would be good there and then if you want to switch some stuff in and out, you can. I'm okay with this. It's again one of those little things that you don't think about, but if you do go to actually set up your ghost, everything should be cheaper, and you probably can take advantage of more of the slots now.
Trevor, you using your ghost like that? You're doing your wombos? You're doing your wombos and your, what do you use it for?
I use it for detectors so I can see all the resources and chests, and then some XP boost. Yeah,
an XP boost. So you doing 6 and 4, or you doing with that? Okay,
yeah, 6 and 4.
6 and 4. I figure. Yeah, I'm a 6 and 4 guy too.
Yeah, I used to go all into XP, and then I realized that it just wasn't.
After a while, it's not that worth it.
You really need XP.
Yeah.
So we got to check in with Rahul. He is actually going to allow you to purchase 3 prisms, 3 shards, and 3 alloy per week, up from 1 per week. And you're also going to be able to take a prism and break it down into 5 cores. So for the people, because I can go run, say, a Nightfall hero difficulty, I'll get 2 or 3 cores, might get 1 prism. Well, if you need one or the other, now the conversion seems like it'll be a bit more readily available on both ends of it, which I'm totally fine with. You may as well. Because if you get a couple of prisms and you don't need those, but maybe you need cores for a lot of stuff, I could see the need to go the other way.
Yeah, not especially now that crafting is easier, and I find myself
Yep.
running through the cores now.
A friendly reminder from the product security team: don't do carry services, don't do boosting services, because apparently they're doing one of two things. One, they're taking your account information and selling it, pulling any financial information. Just keep your own account. You feel like you need to pay somebody to play your game, pick a different game. That's all I'm going to say. That if you feel like you need to pay somebody to accomplish something in the game, stop and think about your life choices there for a second.
Think about your life.
That's a good point. I always laugh whenever there's like a robot that can beat Super Mario. I'm like, is this really what we needed to automate? You couldn't have taught that Xbox or that robot to vacuum my floor? Had to play a video game? That's something I wanted to do.
Isn't
sir.
one of the there's some comedian I think who jokes about genetic research. All these things we're working on genetic and curing diseases, but seedless watermelons. We had to make sure that was a priority, because I don't want to be spitting out seeds all day.
GMOs are pretty good, man. We got a lot of cool stuff done with those.
Yeah.
Just funny priorities is all. They got a whole bunch of spooky art and cosplay and shaders and a whole bunch of, you can go look through that whole art section. For now, that's mostly it for under the TWID. And yeah, is there anything else you guys have seen?
Most of the TWID. That's a good.
You missed most of the Destiny. Yeah.
The TWID is my least favorite part of the show every week. Just good on the talk about, like, this perk that I don't recognize does more of this effect I don't care about. And I'm just like, it's
so funny. Because Cog is like, sandbox stuff.
We're totally opposite. I worry about all that foolishness. And Travis like,
I'm just like,
I don't even know what these perks is doing.
This is the one time where I feel like roles would be reversed, because half the time I figure like Travis could do the thing for the mask where he pulls down the green like accounting hat, and he's already got the glasses on. He's like crunching numbers. But this is the one time Cog pulls down the accounting hat and is like, okay, so the auto rifle now has 4% more range and 3% more damage. We're going to be able to.
You know what it was? I used to do that for Destiny, and then at a certain point I realized that like all of that work wasn't worth the squeeze, because Destiny's not really that hard, and you can beat any activity without like putting in all that work. And so
I love how he's on topic without being here for the last 30 minutes.
Boom, right in pocket.
Like, were you listening the whole time?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, because we were talking about Nomad's video where he was talking about there's way too many weapons and stuff like that, but one of his topics is difficulty, because he said we have 2 difficulties in Destiny. You have way too easy, or, ball crushingly hard, one of the two. And there's not a whole lot of middle ground to kind of work your way up or test anything or find one of the challenges. It's either you could use any weapon and get through it, or you're going to do like a solo Grandmaster and you have 4 weapons you can use. And there's not a lot of middle ground. And you just jump in and be like, well, everything's too easy in Destiny. I'm like, you don't even have to be here for half the show. You're just too good of a host. What do we do with you, sir?
I know, it's in pocket.
Yeah, so once I realized that, like, that the 5% extra power wasn't going to prevent me from going flawless in trials, I was just like, I don't care anymore, If I have a auto rifle that was a god roll 5 seasons ago, it's probably still good enough to get the job done now. You know what I mean? So that's
for the most part.
Yeah. I kind of just fell off of that part of the game, but I tend to care about it during the annual releases. Then I get like more into it and stuff.
Big expansion.
And also, since I stopped writing the Zur article, I've had less exposure to like certain perks and
there's so many now, bro. So many.
Yeah, because I was writing about it every week, and at that point, I was like, I felt like I was pretty on top of it, but I've kind of fallen to the wayside. So,
all good.
Yes.
Anything else for the world of Destiny we would like to discuss? Are you guys?
I'm just waiting for this new season, and when
who's ahead with those the Crota slices?
Oh, you guys are ahead of me. I haven't honestly run it since I got my first 4.
Yeah,
how many you got?
4.
Wow,
that's what I said. I ran it once, and that's all I've got. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I haven't run it since they did the patch.
I have not run it. I still have to run Crota.
13, baby.
Damn. Going in.
We're getting to 20, and then we're gonna get to 35. You guys will see.
If there is a way that now it has been said, I haven't heard anybody saying they won the jackpot, but if you There's a chance apparently where you can now just get all 35 in the one run. I still haven't seen a tweet of somebody just saying, "Hey, I ran Crota for the first time and I just knocked it all out in one run." But
I got 7 my first week, and I felt really good about that. And then every week since, I've gotten like 3 or 4. So
that's still there's some consistency to it, but yeah, it's still gonna.
I think the least you can get is 2 or something like that.
Well, I will say it here for those of you that are listening, because I want to start dropping the thread now to spread the word to everybody. What's up, Warren? By the way, shout out. How you doing?
What's up? What's going on, bro?
As we are in the middle of Season of the Witch, at the start of next season, how best do you celebrate a new season? But with Eris Morn coming on the show at the start of next season. So we are going to have Moria join us on November 30th is the date planned right now. I think we've got the dates ironed out, and we're going to be in the middle of a new season, so we'll have some hype, but that show will probably be a little different because it's mostly going to be focused on her. And just want to let you guys know that she will be coming. So save the date. Want to blow up kind of the live chat when you guys are here. So spread the word, tell your friends, open 3 browser windows, but looking forward to that one.
I'm going to ask her if she knows about the Eris Morn has got it going on song.
What? I don't know about
I didn't even know about this.
I didn't even know about this song back in the Destiny 1 days. Somebody made a Eris Morn has got it going on music video. I'm gonna ask her if she's heard it.
I never heard this joint. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, dude, it was great. That was like back in Taken King days. It was like a couple weeks after it came out. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I got it. I can't wait. She's awesome. Moira's awesome. And I'm gonna be super hyped to talk to her. We gotta get some ayats in. You know what I mean? And
ayat.
We gotta do that, and then it's gonna be good because it's like the perfect transition from Season of the Witch to whatever is about to happen.
Season 23.
Right?
So we will be. That may be the day before the new dungeon. That's gonna be a couple days into the new season. But timing wise and schedule and stuff like that. Celebrate a new season with one of the icons of this thing for the past decade, man. So
she's been holding it down since man. Since the beginning, since Crota, and we've known that story for so long, right? The fire team.
It is the last season of Destiny because we'll be going episodes as well. So season 23 is the last season.
That is true.
End of an era, you could say.
Yeah, we gotta see how this new format gonna go. Oh yeah, we got questions. It's gonna be fun. Looking forward to that.
All right. Well, Travis, is there anything else you want to talk about with the games you've been playing? Any more detail on what you have been covering? Because at this point, I want to transition out of the Destiny talk and into kind of just a bit of our variety action for the evening. I've got a big one to discuss, but I want to let you guys talk about what you've been playing. Any shout outs? I came in here and raved about Cocoon one day, and I still can't shut up about that. Please play that game. But if you got anything you've been playing, anything people should see, and then I will talk about Alan Wake for the end.
Yeah, nothing major. I mean, I have nothing to talk about that you can't read 3,000 words of me talking about. So, I reviewed Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. I put about 45 hours into that game, which if you like survival games like Minecraft or Grounded, it's in that same genre. Unfortunately, it is less successful than those games by quite a bit. Runs really poorly. Has combat sections that last 15 minutes, and it's just goblins doing the same attack patterns at you over and over again. And really grindy too. There's like a part where you have to get 50 of these black diamonds, and you get the black diamonds by either mining them in this area that you can only stay in for a couple minutes at a time before you have to leave, or by killing goblins and orcs. So like, yeah, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth by the end. The first couple hours were fun and novel and addictive, and then it sort of drags on and on and on, and you start to see more and more of its issues, especially in multiplayer. The game runs especially bad when you're playing with like 4 or more people, and it's got 8-player multiplayer. I was only given 4 codes, so I never played with more than 4 people, but I can only imagine how bad it runs with 8. But yeah, that one, and then I can't talk about the other stuff I played more recently, so I can talk about Asgard's Wrath, which I'm excited to play more of. But Cog, if you played it, you work for the company, you have to play it.
No, I haven't dogfooded it yet. We haven't
really.
Yeah, because it's other things they got me on right now, and one of them was actually the Game Pass, and I can talk about it now. Is the Game Pass integration on that and testing that and streaming, which was very impressive. I was actually
what is that?
So pretty much, basically, you turn your Quest into like a projector screen, so to speak, and you can stream all of Game Pass games into VR. And I put it to the test. I didn't believe it. I was like, I'm gonna play Halo Infinite multiplayer. I want to see how effective this is, right?
So you hold the Xbox controller,
yes,
and then you wear the headset,
and then you sync it up. Yeah, you sync it up that way, and then bro. Now, granted, I'm kind of ideal situation like how your internet is really strong. I'm not as strong as yours, Travis, but bro, I was super impressed. I am playing like a functional Halo latency. I'm like, I'm not feeling it. I'm like, this is playable, and the fact that the screen, it's basically you're doing almost like an augmented reality in a sense that you are placing the screen in your living room, and you could stretch it and size it almost as much as you want, is pretty cool. So to play Xbox games that way, it was pretty, it's pretty impressive that the latency was impressive. And I put it at a game that is not really ideal for streaming, right? I'm like, you don't want to play competitive multiplayer streaming. You're going to play mostly other things. And the fact that I kind of was pushing it to the limit. And again, this was Quest 2. I wasn't testing on 3.
You're not even 3 yet.
Right, which is, is more impressive. So
do you have a 3 coming? Do you have your free meta 3 coming?
You don't get a 3 for free?
3 for free?
We get things that I can't comment on.
Okay.
But I'll be testing.
For my 3, but
he's over there playing. He's like, I'm done with 3. I've been playing that for like 6 to 9 months. I'm working on the 4 now. You guys haven't even seen anything yet. So that's where he's at.
I'm enjoying the 3. I've actually been playing a lot more VR when I have time, but I'm trying to review the Assassin's Creed Nexus game and Asgard's just because I've been kind of on a VR kick, which is nice because for the past like 2 years, VR's kind of sucked.
Yeah.
It's kind of been on a regression run, which kind of makes me sad. So it's cool to see some games that feel like they could compete with Half-Life Alyx in some degree.
Yeah, those really that's generally kind of. I'm glad you said that, Travis, because that's kind of what I've been kind of pushing internally. I'm always, I love meta, but it's like I'm always going to push gamer sensibilities as opposed to demo type experiences or social type experiences. Like gamers want to play a fully functional Assassin's Creed in VR, right? Gamers want to play games like where you're just not celebrating the tech, you're actually playing a full functional game. Yeah. So yeah, I like the pivot that way.
The people at that studio, what's it called? Sansaru or Sansaru Games. They're very passionate about that. They kind of wear it as a badge of honor because I talked to them at their office. They kind of wear it as a badge of honor that they're not just a VR game. They're like, nah, this is like a full open world RPG. It just is a game that's on VR, which makes it even cooler. Which a lot of gamers would probably roll their eyes at, and I sort of almost did myself in the room. But playing it is believing, dude. That game's sick. That game is very sick. I don't know how I'm gonna play a game for 60 plus hours in VR, but that game makes me want to.
That's the thing. When the technology feels good enough, when you don't, that's kind of think one of the biggest things limiting VR is, as you said, if I'm gonna go spend, I'll get to Alan Wake in a second. I would need a change of underwear for a few moments in Alan Wake.
Yeah, I can't do horror in VR.
I'm usually good with horror. Like I was like, I'll do the thing where it's like, you watch a movie and they intentionally do a jump scare, and I'll be like, like you do. Everybody's gonna do that because a jump scare is a jump scare. And it's like I can usually manage most stuff, but I think it's more take Remnant. I played that for 80, 90 hours for review. Starfield. It's that much time in VR. That we're not quite at the Ready Player One status yet. We're not there, but it's nice to know that
you can definitely do it on the higher end headsets. Like
I
played Half-Life Alyx for 10 hours in a day, and like the only thing that is scary about that is because you're blocking out all the outside world. When you take the headset off, you feel like it's weird to put on the headset and then take it off and it's dark outside and you're like, where have I been? You have like that moment of that moment of like clarity where you're just like, where was I?
Where was I? Yup. Yeah, the disconnect. Yeah.
It's very, and I can't imagine, if you're playing a video game on your couch, you're able to look around and walk and stuff like that. But if you're in a VR headset, dude, it's like, it's a it's like having an out of body experience. It's very, very jarring to take that headset off.
Yeah,
So.
it's like original said, like the Animus moment. You're plugged in, and I think that was kind of like my old Demio days, and we doing these sessions, and we're like, bro, we're so close to the third point, and you like you don't look at your watch, you don't look at your phone, you have no idea of where time is.
Texts or phone calls.
Right, and I set up notifications sometimes, but even during the game, it's like I had to turn that stuff off. So, but you come out, and you take the you like. Yo, that was 4 or 5 hours. Like, yo, what happened? Like, I felt I was in another dimension. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's a good point.
Taking off a VR headset makes you want to like grab somebody in the room and shout, "What year is it?" You know?
Yeah, like what?
It's the same vibe. It's like how long is it? How long was I in there?
Yeah, how long was I out? the thing that saves
the year is 2196 and the Matrix is real.
Yeah, is the push to AR and mixed reality, because at least with the past or some games, it's like, okay, here's my couch, there's my phone, okay, all right, the cat went past, okay, like you got some sense.
Asgard's Wrath has some features that only happen if you have the MetaQuest 3 because it has ARG, and so in the normal version you're just like in a virtual world, but if you are playing on the MetaQuest 3, some areas it'll show the world or like your actual surroundings in the world, and then like characters in the game will comment on your house. Like Loki will say that you live in a hovel and stuff like that. He's like, wow, look at this, look at this terrible space. So I think stuff like that is pretty cool, and the fact that the MetaQuest 3 you can double tap the side of your helmet and it becomes transparent at any time, so that you
color pass through,
be like boom and then talk to a friend. I think features like that are going to go a long way to me keeping the headset on, because that's like a key thing to me, is like the disconnect, the fact that D just is in a different realm from me for 10 hours in a day is sort of weird. It's sort of a weird feeling.
Absolutely. Bro, once Demio updated and they added that mode, and I'm literally stretching that thing and putting playing board like on my couch, and it's accounting for my, if the dice rolls off and reacts to what's in my living room, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, I agree. I
think I was listening to the Friends Per Second. Skill Up was talking about, he got one, and I guess just the same thing, the augment, where he was sitting there doing the dishes, but he could look down and do the dishes and just their YouTube window just like over here to like catch up on whatever he was trying to catch up on while he was sitting there doing that stuff. And they said the exterior facing cameras are still not like quite the highest resolution yet. As that kind of comes up, that'll help even more of what you guys are saying, just have that immersive pass through the ARG really be, high def. If they can get to that point where the screens you have and the cameras and stuff outside are giving you a great picture through, that's when people are going to start living in those things, which is, good and bad. But you can get your groceries delivered and everything else. Then people are just going to be, we haven't seen him for 2 years. He's in there. We don't know what he looks like anymore, but he is in there. Still pays rent.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so that for you, for me, it's been Spider-Man 2. I've probably got like about 7 hours.
I forgot about that game.
Yeah, still early, but
I've got like 30 minutes in, so I was like, I've only turned it on.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like maybe an hour and a half in. I just was like, all right, this is okay.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game. Obviously playing on an OLED, VRR, 4K, 120 fidelity mode. It's stunning. The ray tracing in game is really impressive. To me, the changes that I like for the actual swinging, it always felt good, but now with the glide feature, and that really takes it to the next level, and you picking up all this momentum. The story seems really cool so far with Miles and Spidey, and then obviously they got the interaction, they share skill trees.
That's so funny.
What?
I can't remember what I was listening to, because they were talking about Spidey, and they're like, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And everybody refers to Miles as Miles. And it's like, wait a minute, he's also Spider-Man, but nobody calls him, not one person calls him Spider-Man. That's Miles, and that's Spider-Man. It was just one of those weird...
That's dude. That's
dude. One of those like light bulb moments. I'm like, you are very correct, but I never thought about it. So it's just interesting.
What's interesting is they call each other, Peter calls Miles Spider-Man.
I did hear that in my little intro.
Peter calls him Spider-Man.
The intro is a banger intro, by the way. Just the first 30 minutes, I'm going, okay, let's kick this thing off. Cool, nice.
Yeah, really cool. The set pieces, really fun. There's some repetitive things that are a little bit, annoying. Or,
Pacing is noticeably slower.
Pacing, it's slow. Now, I do gotta comment, though. There is one, apparently, I don't know. I spoke to John Linneman from Digital Foundry. So apparently when the reviewers played it, it was fine. But the release copy, I think it's a day one patch, bro.
Yeah, there was one.
Day one patch made it worse.
Bro. Like, game progress. Like, I'm a guy, like, it's okay to have a glitch. A leg goes through thing. Bro, this is the worst I've seen from Insomniac, because their games are always polished.
Yeah.
And the issue I have right now is game progression. Like, without spoiling for those who have not played, like that section you did in the first 30 minutes, which is kind of the tutorial, and it's a bit set piece where you fight a boss that I shall not name because I don't want to spoil.
Yeah, their trailers did, but that's fine. Yeah, I was annoyed about that.
Fine.
No, but I'm glad you didn't say it. I was annoyed the trailer did.
Yeah, so pretty much like there's a section that when you whittle this boss down, then there's like QTE, press triangle, press. Bro, not acting. I'm going crazy. I'm like, am I doing something wrong? I'm like, I know I'm pressing. I know my timing is good. I literally had to die for the game to reset itself. I said, let me just kill myself because this, whatever I'm doing, I'm here for like 30 minutes.
Soft block kind of just
yeah. So I've encountered stuff like this where it's kind of like, you there was a stealth section and there's like, okay, you have to get something off of a character, and it involves you kind of stringing up the item or whatever it is, and there's a button prompt and it's like, let's go, and not happening, or just weird. I don't know if you saw Maddie's, bro. It's bad. Like, Trav, his Spider-Man turned into a cube.
Oh, I saw the cube
for the whole.
That got patched, I think, like today. The cube,
bro. Like there is some serious. This is not a polished game. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, there is a lot of issues with this, and they've got to address it. So, in fairness to the reviewers, I'm not calling anybody out because I spoke to Linneman and they said, yo, none of this was going on. But he said he played now, and he's like, yo, all of this is going on, which is saying, so, yeah, and I spoke to ACG, who we were talking about it. So, hopefully they get that out because it is taking away from the experience. Like, it's really bad when I spoke to someone where they were close to ending it, and it's these really emotional, heartfelt scenes, and, like, they're headless. And bro, it destroyed his experience. Like Rand and Maddie talks like, yeesh, you know what I mean? So hopefully the patch comes out and
addresses how many reviewers you name dropped in this description.
Yeah, I was flexing.
In there. We got ACG. We got Maddie.
Does Cog know everyone? Yes, he does.
Yeah, I got. He's gonna see them all at his wedding this weekend. Because he's so cool. He gets to go to the wedding.
I got all the top reviewers, and I got time.
Well, you know what?
Does Hogue hate Spider-Man? I have a hunch he does.
He doesn't like. He loves the first one, and he thinks Miles is the best one. But he said Spider-Man 2 is definitely his least favorite so far, which doesn't surprise me. Because they kind of are doing the whole like Naughty Dogification of like let's make it serious and slower, and I definitely relate to that criticism because I don't think all games. It's not that Insomniac does well. Insomniac is all about remember when they made an ad for Sunset Overdrive and it was making fun about how every game is like grayscale and depressing, and they were like, nah, we're gonna be super. What happened to those guys? Because it feels like with them having made Spider-Man 2, and then the next game they're gonna work on is Wolverine, which I have no doubt is gonna be melodramatic as all. It's like
I'm looking forward to that though. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Where it's getting almost more like. But I think that would also get more to a foresty, very browns and greens and grays kind of. I think that's what that would be.
It feels like Sony's trying to drive all their studios in the same direction, and I am more of a fan of the silliness that for which Insomniac is known. And to be fair, they are still getting to work on some of those projects. Ratchet and Clank this year was awesome. So.
Marathon hopefully gives the other side of the color spectrum, aka all the colors from that first preview.
Yeah.
I will be curious if that actually stays true because I love the art design in the trailer.
Yes.
And then I'm kind of curious where they land for a final release.
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. But like I said, still work. Hopefully
by the time I get to Spider-Man, then I will
hopefully. So right now, I would say, if you're playing that stuff, playing stuff, and then wait for this pack because it's pretty bad right now. But other than that, the game, despite all that, the game is still worth playing and fun as hell. And,
I mean, I know I'm gonna have a blast.
The combat's it's so much fun. The parrying.
Why do you like these games?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's just a combination of the feel of the combat's fun, the storytelling. I think the writing is just like for a Spider-Man story, and especially for like a superhero story. I think they do a very good job with Spider-Man and Peter, and they had Aunt May and stuff. And I think it's just not a lot of games get to a point where they can even mess with emotions, because we get some that do and some that don't. And then I think there are some who do it better than others, but I think Insomniac's done a pretty good job with regards to, I mean, Miles was like half the length of the first one in 2018, and they still had a good feel for the characters. You started caring about the characters that were involved, and I think it. Do what?
I can barely hear you, Trav, for some reason.
Yeah, couldn't hear you.
You sound like very low.
I said length isn't everything, right?
Oh, I know.
Well, you know, for some.
And
there goes the show.
I'm talking about video games. Stop being a perv.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no undertone or
not at all
insinuation to your word choice.
Get your mind out of the gutter. That's what I have to say.
I have to keep it there just so I can try and stay ahead of you. That's all. It's a combination of Spider-Man combat took Batman, and then you have Spider-Man, and you have a little bit of stealth. You can if you want to. You got really cool combat, and a little bit that I played, it felt even smoother than before. The slides, the whips, the dodges, now it's got a parry in it, which I really like. Parry's cool.
By the way, I'm a big parry guy. I do perfect parries in every game, but it feels weird for Spider-Man. Spider-Man is not a parry character.
I will give you that.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
That is very fair. Even though I'm with you, Trav, I love parry in games, but it doesn't feel like he should be parrying.
Spider-Man doesn't stay in the way and block Rhino perfectly. He moves the heck out of the way. You know what I mean?
Like, that's fair. I get that.
It just feels weird to parry a Spider-Man.
Instinctually, I use the dodge in conjunction with the spider sense.
No.
And then when you do the perfect dodge and you get the slow-mo and it looks cool, that to me is Spider-Man. I agree. But the thing where you're going to be annoyed, Travis,
for Wolverine, which is going to be parry heaven. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're already on their other project.
Now what you're gonna hate, Trav, is as you progress, there are enemies that can only be stopped by parrying, and that's you're not gonna like that because that's not gonna feel Spider-Man to you. Yeah, I agree.
That just isn't. That's no. Spider-Man dodges. That's what he does. He can move. He's got spider.
That I get. I don't know. It's just something about the Spider-Man powers, but you actually get to play as it, and they did such a good job with just the world, the swinging, the combat, the story. It's just a combination that meshed really well for me. I think when I got done playing those, I was just thoroughly impressed all the way through. I didn't have really any that many bad marks for either of them.
It checks a lot of boxes for you, and you're a hashtag just one guy. You like the cinematic experiences.
Of course I am. That's not shocking.
You're the guy. You're the target audience. Those who have the emotional beats, the good strong narrative.
I'm the one who's turning my webcam off on stream because I don't want you to see the stream of tears coming down my face.
You're the guy.
Yeah, it's yes. There are.
That's why I tell the Xbox community all I want is just one of them.
I know. Yeah, you're like, can I? One.
I know everyone rolls their eyes at me. And don't get me wrong, Trav. I'm with you. I like Xbox's direction on diversity and weird and I love all of that.
Just one. That's all.
I just want them to create one. That's
all. My problem isn't with people wanting a certain type of game. It's the problem that once you start to point out all the examples, they change the definition on you.
Oh, of course.
It doesn't count unless this.
Unless it's this.
And it has to be, a game that isn't available on other platforms.
Yes. You're
just making the
he's moving the goalposts
possible. Yeah, just to exclude and say that one platform doesn't have that type of game, which just is not true. There's
because technically, Hellblade 2 is about to be a hashtag just one, right?
Hellblade 1 was like that.
Right, but prior to the fact that it was multiplayer, the fact that
Why does that matter?
Because this is
my problem is
let me tell you why.
You should only care about that stuff if you're a fanboy.
That's exactly, and that's what I'm trying to get at. I have polled PlayStation fans, right? And they say, okay, I'll say, hey, okay, what, like for example, LSM community, not even LSM, some other community. I wouldn't say that. It was before LSM. And I was like, what would get you to play Xbox? And he was like, yo, I need blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, well, this exists. Yeah, but they didn't make that. And it needs to come from their game studio, not be multiplayer. Like that's when the goal poll. So I said, okay. So then I started writing it down. I was like, okay, so what qualifies? All right, AAA, high fidelity, strong narrative. Okay, cool. And the key differentiator that they all say, new IP. It can't be a sequel or anything like that. So they want to feel that Xbox created it. And then they will have their confidence. It's funny you said I literally polled fanboys as to what would make them happy about it.
PlayStation doesn't even meet those qualifications anymore. When was the last time they made a
minute.
One that wasn't a sequel?
Well, initially you're right. Well, now they're in sequel territory, but they did last.
They started it.
PS4 was the start of it.
My point is that I hate the entire Just One hashtag or whatever you want to call it because it's like the most pedantic bullshit. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like I
know what you're saying.
You live in that world. You talk to the fanboys.
I cannot
talk to them.
I try to understand the logic of what would satisfy.
There is no logic,
right? Because then the goalposts will move. So once it happens, then I want to see what's going to be the excuse when it happens. But I'm with you. I understand. That's literally where I based it on. So I want to know what was
Hellblade 2, Fable.
Hellblade 2
and Fable count.
We're gonna say is they don't count because they're sequels.
Exactly. You see the rules?
Do you see how stupid it is? It's already it's like those examples where somebody goes, "Oh, there's no examples of this thing," and then you point out an example, and then they go, "Oh, well, that one doesn't count because of this." And it's like, well, of course I'm not going to be able to meet your criteria if you remove all the examples that disprove you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like they prove you wrong and then you go, oh, well, it's not the specific, just shut up. You're wrong. That's what I have to say to these people. Don't talk to fanboys. If you're a fanboy, I have nothing to say to you.
I got to say that over the past 3 or 4 months, I am so tired of the fanboy bullshit.
Yeah, it's
really bad. To the either direction, and it's like I do a pretty good job of trying to follow developers, composers, like anybody who's related to creation of games, and then higher generally count a lot of the content creators and reviewers and stuff that I follow and watch anyway. I try not to do that, but man, there's a lot of bullshit on the internet. There really is, and I'm so tired. Why are you praising a box or a big company? And then it's like, oh, this thing's here and everybody's here and all this other stuff.
Do you know how I find out that games are on Game Pass these days?
How?
Because I review the game and then I see that there's a shitload of comments about people going, Game Pass is great or Game Pass is terrible. That's how I find out if a game's on Game Pass. I'll post a review on IGN and then all of a sudden, 10 minutes after it's live, it'll have either 100 comments and I'll be like, oh, okay. Or it'll have 1,000 comments. And if it has 1,000 comments, I know it's a Game Pass game because everyone who hates Xbox is going to be in there.
It's going to be in there,
example of it proves that Game Pass is bad. And everyone who loves Xbox is going to be in there being like, wow, it's such a good deal for the money. And I'm just like, how sad is that I know if it's a Game Pass game based on the engagement.
People need to find better stuff to spend their time on.
They really do, man.
Yeah, it's predictable.
Who's paying these people?
Dudes is just banging, they're gang banging in the street. That's all it is. That's how I look at it.
What movies are you watching? Whoa. What movies is Cog watching?
This is gang banging.
I want to understand how Cog doesn't get us in trouble.
Oh, no, he just did.
He said gang banging in the streets.
Yeah,
bro.
I know. There's so much wrong with that.
I know what he meant. He meant
y'all taking it to sexual.
I love talking about real Bloods and Crips. I get you. I know what you said, but where we were earlier, it didn't help anything.
To be fair, his gangbanging is the original.
Oh, I know his is the real one. Yeah,
and I know by and I know by his age and ethnicity which one he meant.
Exactly.
But it's just,
No, yeah. We were on the other topic earlier, and then he said that. I'm like, what? What is going on in your streets? That's why you don't go to Jersey. You got to be in New York.
Ebontis is the dirtiest one on this podcast.
100%. 100%.
Because no matter what either one of us says, he's always the first one to think that it's going to get us in trouble and get us flagged. He knows all of the vernacular. He's disgusting.
I'm not denying it, so it's fine.
I just caught that. I was like, oh,
that delayed reaction, that would be a really good clip, but it's just not a very good clip to broadcast. But it is a hilarious clip because Travis and I are like sitting here, we're going, come on, get there faster, get there faster, and then it's like, bing, I'm like, oh, there it is.
But here's the thing, Cog. Both definitions, both interpretations adequately describe the situation.
Yes, yeah.
Actually, they do. Both versions of it is exactly what they're doing.
And demonetized. There it is. There it is. That's the one. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, on a completely different topic, I did play a game that all of you should play.
Let's go.
So I played Alan Wake Remastered on stream previously.
Are you allowed to talk about Alan Wake 2? The embargo's
up.
Embargo's up, so I can talk about it. Yeah. Embargo was today. It goes live in, 3 hours tonight, I think, for everybody to actually start playing if they want to.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
So yeah, check your release times, but I don't know if it's PC or console or which one's first. I think console might be first, and then PC. Like Steam's always like later for whatever reason. So I played the remaster. It's one of those games where it's not the easiest one to follow. There's a lot going on. You've got multiple layers. It's interesting, which is kind of why you're like, okay, so I'm being narrated to by this author who's stuck in his own little world, and then he's got this darkness presence that's going on, and now I've got Taken. I've got a flashlight where I'm attacking them. I break the Taken presence. I can shoot them. And the mechanics, it was a 13-year-old game. It's been a while since we've got the first one. And when you play the remaster, you're going, it looks a little better. But it definitely feels like a 13-year-old game.
Doesn't play well. Yeah.
No, it doesn't play well. But
combat is pretty bad.
Conceptually, I'm like, okay, so kind of interesting. Then you've got Quantum Break, which was in there. You've got Control, which from DLC people figured out was connected to this universe. Then now we are back. And Remedy, I'm not what I would call a huge Remedy fan. But from what I've seen of them from Control and their unique games, and then Quantum Break, where I loved where they were trying to do the TV show and stuff, they are unique when it comes to a studio. And when you play through this game, I'm sitting there going through this, I'm like, I don't think anybody else could hit publish on this one and get away with it. Because I don't know if they have the creative liberties, if they've got the director who's going to be able to guide them all the way through this thing. By the way, whoever is the narrative writer combination of people who got all the little red threads on the storyboard to work as reasonably well as they do in this one is really impressive. It is.
They actually show you the board in Quantum Break. I don't know if you know this. In Quantum Break, there's a chalkboard in one of the levels where you see the outline and an explanation for Alan Wake 1 and how it relates to Alan Wake 2. And it's like they took it out of their studio and put it in the game. And even before Alan Wake 2 was ever a thing, people were looking at that board and like trying to draw conclusions and figure out what was going on. And then in Control, where they canonized that the Control universe takes place in the Alan Wake universe, which that agency is in Alan Wake 2. They elaborate even more on how Alan Wake's situation fits into the broader situation of that universe. So it's pretty
without I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll say there is
I'm
not going to, but all I'm going to say is there is a Remedy universe, and if you jump into this, I do advise you, if you didn't play the first one, go watch a recap. It's not probably worth playing if you can get the full detailed recap. Depending on how much time you've got, if you get like the Control recap as well, you'll kind of get a feel of how they got the universes connected. Now, I played this game, headphones on, lights off in my office.
Ooh, full immersion. Let's go.
Please play it that way. You got to go headset or you got to go surround sound. If you're just going from a little mono speaker from a monitor, it is not going to be the same thing. Play with a good headset because the audio... There's a lot of things I can talk about this game, but the audio in this game is so good.
This is sounding Hellbladey to me. All right.
Yeah, same. has the vibes, has the hair standing up on the back of my neck, has me anxious as I'm walking around in areas, and that's just the sound. They did such a good job with just the little... There's this little whisper that comes at you as one of the characters, and it happens a lot. And every time it happens, I'm like, please don't do that again. And they... and it's uncomfortable. It's a good word for it. They make you uncomfortable. But you have to kind of like push through and deal with what's going on. But the sound design, the whole way through... I mean, if you're walking in the forest with it raining, that is exactly what it feels like. Just the dark... just the little shuffles of you have a jacket and you turn and you can hear like the sleeve brush against their chest. Say they've got like a windbreaker kind of fabric on. I'm like, what is that noise? And I'm like, this is my arms. I'm like, what? So audio and sound design, top notch. I'd give that an 11 out of 10 for your Spinal Tap jokes, but out there. The audio design in this game is worth whatever the best setup you can hear it on or the best headset that you can find. It is extremely good. And then this whole game is just dripping in atmosphere. Sounds like a cliche term, but just the whole vibe, the horror aspect, everything about it is just uncomfortable in one side of it and a little bit of tense. And then you got the noir because you have two characters to play as. And the Alan Wake sections... Oh, yep. There you go.
There you go.
The score. I'm guessing I know what the score is. It
doesn't break our CMS. We found out.
Oh, nice. But when you get started as one character, and it's a new character introduced for this game, and it's not Alan. So you're going to go through an experience from more of a...
Real. I already know. Because I played Alan Wake, the first one. Yeah.
Okay.
It's fictional. They're all fictional. I'm going to get super...
It's an ocean.
Tinfoil hatted. Yeah. He wrote it all. Even he's not real. Alan Wake is Mr. Scratch. What is real, guys? Was he in the lake the whole time? The lake is an ocean. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
They just do a good job with the little mini... There's these little flickers on screen, which kind of work as a jump scare. You don't see them coming half the time. And then you're just walking along through the woods, and all of a sudden the music will slowly get this like eerier tone addition to it, and it just builds a little bit. You're like, oh, something's coming. And it's like, and I'm like, God, no. Those little moments, and then you still got to go forward in the darkness, and then it's just the little tone of one of the Taken guys that you end up fighting, but just you can hear him a little farther up front. And you're like, I know you're in the corner. I know I got to face you. Just the whole vibe of the game is horror, thriller. The atmosphere is just, I mean, there are a few things when it comes to mechanics and a couple inventory things and a few things that are a little, kind of take you out of the immersion. It's a 9 out of 10 to me. I'm 95% done with this thing. This is an easy 9. It's not, I can't say it's 10 as a masterpiece for just some nitpicks and things like, it'd be like a 9.5 if I was going 20-point scale. Just the nitpicks.
What's the nitpicks? What's the nitpicks then?
There are certain things to where, so you have a case wall for the non-Alan character.
Right.
And where you're going to solve cases and stuff. And sometimes, there was one point, I figured out what I needed to do. I'm like, okay, I need to go over here, turn this thing off, go down in this area and get this circuit board. And I go down in there and I can't activate it. And then I go into my mind space. I put the clues that I've got so far that tell me what I need to do, and that unlocked the ability for me to go around this place and get the parts that I needed, and that was one of them. But I was ahead of it, but it kind of blocked me. So there were a few moments like that where it's a little immersion breaking, and there's another one where if you're going through the different... I'm not going to tell you everything that's in there, but there's one of the things that you can do in there, and it feels like I'm kind of ahead, or... It just feels a little off. A lot of it is great. The voice acting, the faces, the emotions, so much is very, very good. There are just little moments here and there that I think you're not going to nail everything perfectly in this game, no matter how you do it, because it is crazy. But there are just a couple that I would say. And then when it comes to a little bit of inventory management, a little bit of some of, the enemies, and there are little things here and there, I would say, that kind of bring it down just a smidge, but so much about it is just the experience is bizarre, weird, thriller, and hilarious, by the way. The writing also had me... There was one point I just sat my controller down and just watched what was going on screen for a little bit, and I was just rolling and grinning and having a great time on the other side. I'm going, you're telling me I about crap my pants over here, and I am laughing my butt off on the other side of this. And the fact that you can cover both of those. Yeah. And I think the Alan... So you have the mind space for the other character, who's the FBI agent Saga, and you have Alan, where he's writing... I think that's the better version.
Got it.
So the cases are kind of recaps. It's like you're kind of figuring out clues and you're going along and figuring out what you've seen so far. But the Alan stuff, I think, is where it shines.
Got it.
For those
Do you think they could have eliminated the other part and been okay, or it's still good enough to combine?
It's decent enough. I think they could have streamlined some.
Okay.
I just think of the two, Alan's is better, if that makes without saying too much. Alan's is really, really cool. Alan's is world changing in front of your eyes. Cool. And the things that you get to experience in these situations when you change it and then something goes to hell and then all of a sudden it's just you're in panic mode in the game and everything. There is one moment, and I was listening to somebody today, but there is a moment you walk through a train car, and the noises that are made in this train car are so unsettling and unnerving, and it's like you're there and you really don't want to be where you are right now, and you're picturing it really well. The audio just killed it like so many times for this game.
Nice.
I just think, I know this isn't going to be a game for everybody. Some people aren't going to just vibe with the idea of detective solving, writer, narration, voiceover, and all that stuff, but if any of that is even slightly intriguing, or if you played the first one, you were on board, this is such a good game, so well done. There's a song in this thing that I want to look up later. There's some songs.
You know the game good when they got that song that hit. You're like,
well, you got full motion video in here,
nice.
like over the top in certain areas, and it's so much of this is just. And it's not like you got full motion videos and all of it's going to be gameplay. It's just such a cool experience to be part of. That's why I was like, I really want to finish it. Know kind of where it lands.
Game of the year candidate sounding like to where you.
It's on my top 10 list for sure. Easy. I don't know where it's going to land on the list, but that's why I also got to see the ending to know how it comes together, or if if it's like Alan Wake 1 where I'm going. Hello, like if you're left hanging big time kind of thing, which I'm sure it probably will be. It's it's like, so you've got, I like Remedy because of the Stephen King aspect, and you got the writer and the author and stuff, and this one, I think if you do a recap, they do enough explaining about the worlds that are around them that they do a good job. A couple of, you've got a few moments where boss fights are okay kind of thing, and that's why I was like, it's not quite, but the overall experience for me was just, it's so unique, so special for a studio to ever be greenlit to run this thing in the first place. I'm trying to praise it without spoiling anything, that's why I'm not talking about it.
I know. Dodge it all.
I'm trying to dodge anything, but I'm trying to tune you out. That's fine.
Yeah, because he got it. Yeah.
Just in case.
No, that's and I'm really trying. And I think what it does is something very few studios, because I mean, you see Last of Us Factions shelved just because the business decision is risky, and then you see this thing get delivered and going, I don't know another studio that would be allowed to do this. I don't. Right. Whether it's their independence, I know Epic helped them with some of the publishing Epic, and marketing.
Epic did the publishing.
It's on the Epic store. It's not on Steam, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, that's Epic. It's the Epic bag.
and that's Epic doing their thing. But just Remedy has proven themselves enough that whoever they've worked with, they've been allowed to have this creative freedom. And I know it's not going to land. Some people are going to be like, this isn't a game for me. Maybe it feels a little boring. But if you go through the whole experience, and that's just because some people want action all the time. But if you're there for this kind of gritty, nowhere, horror, investigative, this whole journey, man, it is something on its just own island of kind of games. Right. I mean, you got Mario, you got Spider-Man, you got
so much
Liza P with really good combat. You got Mario, it's Nintendo nailing it. You've got Starfield with crazy exploration, which I mean, and then there's the games that came out 6 to 7 months earlier than the ones I just mentioned. Yeah. All of those together, this is its own thing, and we don't get games like this very often. True. And especially done at this level.
I feel that with the high production value.
Yeah, so I mean, you could have
Hogwarts Legacy came out this year.
That's still the crazy
I keep forgetting that.
I know.
I keep forgetting what you went through earlier. I forgot all about that. Like, that's crazy that came out. That feels like it was 2 years ago.
It was February.
Like, yeah, that's the type of year it's been. It's been insane.
So I know I'm saying a whole bunch without saying anything at all because I really don't want to spoil anything. And I know some people will be, here's a review that spoils half the game, and they were very clear not to do that. But there is just there's a lot in this game that is cool. There's some very, very fun surprises where I'm just along for the ride. If you want that horror thriller experience, that investigation, this is about all I can go for. I mean, I'm very intrigued to see how it wraps up. But just the tone and the journey and everything that the director, the game director, and then you got Sam Lake sitting at the top of the studio, I think, the composer, the artist, the writing, the voice acting, the performances, because you have live action performances in the FMV, and then you got the actual capture performances as well. You got them both. And I don't know. It's without saying too much, it is definitely a hell of a game. And it's an experience that if you're intrigued by it at all, I think it's going to be worth your time, because it's probably going to be, for me, I don't know if I'll be at the high end, but hours wise, it's nothing crazy. So it's just going to be
like, what do you think, 20
ish?
Okay.
Some will be low, some will be quicker, because I wandered. I found some other. I didn't find everything, but what I naturally search for and find, that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to say, if you're curious and you saw a whole bunch of Twitter today saying, "Oh, look at all these ratings," I was on board with that. Not quite a 10, but 9+ for me. That's where I'm landing on that one. With
huge. What did IGN give it?
9. It was a 9.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah, Remedy does a game every blue moon, so when you do get one and then it comes out and does all of this, there's a moment in this one. I know, Travis, you play it. Cog, will you even play this? Is this something you'll jump into? Do you need the lights on kind of thing?
Yeah. No, actually, it's not that I don't like that type of game. It's just it's coming out at a bad time
that's fair.
For me.
I mean,
yeah, it's just like,
I didn't play Sea of Stars yet. That would probably be my game of the year. I haven't got to it yet.
There's just too many damn games right now, bro. It is so much, and I still got to finish Cyberpunk.
Tekken betas and other things.
I got Tekken. It's just, it doesn't stop. I got Spider-Man to finish. Like, it is so much right now.
Cog. Next year is looking pretty light, I got to say.
I feel like it's got to be
the early part of the year.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people, this was the year of getting over COVID and everybody getting their projects out. But usually when you have a year like this, the year 18 months to follow tend to be pretty AAA like.
Yeah. Everything stacked up this year. It's been people could have saved a few things for next year.
Yes,
Final Shape is going to be the biggest game for like the first 4 months, I think, of next year, just based on what I'm saying.
For me, it's Final Shape, Tekken 8. That's those are my two.
Yakuza,
of course. Oh, Infinite Wealth. Yes, those are my three.
Infinite Wealth coming out in the first half of the year? Yeah.
Infinite Wealth.
That's going to be my game in the early half.
I'm going to go crazy.
Like,
bro, did you see that they got an Animal Crossing straight up type mode in it now? That's hilarious.
Of course they do. It's Yakuza. They have to have crazy mini games that go way too far. You know how many hours I spent on the building your business empire mini game?
You reached to the top.
And Cog's like SimCity and entire this thing.
Dude,
so.
Bro, I watch the cutscene every single time you do the maximum apology.
Yes.
One, the high level apology where he jumps into the air. Have you seen that video, Ebontis?
It's hilarious.
There's this mini game, like a business mini game, and there's where you're talking to your shareholders or your board of directors, and there's a part where if you store up enough points, you can use like your super move, which is you apologize, and your character flies in the air cartoonishly and then gets on all fours, prostrates himself before everybody, and then apologizes, and it's like the most anime thing ever. It's so damn cool.
Facts. That game is so many times. Yo, I did that whole day. I beat that whole financial. Their mini games go hard for no reason.
Cog, I got every achievement in that game.
Wow.
That sounds like a lot of work.
That game is hard to do.
That is crazy. That means I got level 99 on every character. Like I played it out of that game.
Wow.
Yeah, you went hard. You went hard. Okay.
I did go hard on that game.
So next year you got Alone in the Dark, which is a remake I am curious about. Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia, actually, that 2D side, the side one actually looks pretty cool.
That one looks sick. Yeah.
You got Infinite Wealth and Tekken 8. That's January. There's one big one you're missing. There's one big one. Now it's not Suicide Squad because I have zero faith in that at this point because I don't know.
I think that game will be good. People just underestimate Rocksteady.
I mean, the studio's good. What I saw, I still hadn't. No, it's Final Fantasy Rebirth. That's the big one probably for February.
Oh, I'm screwed. Oh, when is that date? What's the date on that?
The 2 days after Final Shape.
I don't care about old games.
I'm screwed. That's like my favorite JRPG.
You got Helldivers 2 in February.
I don't even play JRPGs, but that's the one I continue to play.
I played that one already, though.
No, I get it. No, but I don't want to spoil. They're doing something crazy.
Changes. I hate that.
Yeah, Hogue is like, Hogue is in your camp. He's like, he hates. For me, I'm like, this is ballsy. And
it is ballsy. I'll give it that.
Like,
at this point, it's not a remake. It's just a different game. It's a
different game. It is. It's absolutely
Yeah. It's like there's like Rise of the Ronin, which is I think Team Ninja open world kind of Souls one. Black Myth Wukong, I think, is 2024. Ooh. That one looks fire.
Yeah, that looks crazy.
But I think Travis is right. The early part of the year might feel like kind of those winter months. For a change, February may not be insanely stacked, kind of thing.
Right? Yeah, man, crazy year this year.
If anybody plays Alan Wake and wants to DM me and have a conversation about it, please do, because I do not want to spoil anything for anybody. But if you do play it and you have either questions or thoughts or whatever, hit me up that way or just in Discord, because I can't talk to anybody about it right now, and I really want to. So yeah, if anybody jumps in, plays hard, let me know.
In between my time reviewing WarioWare this weekend, I'm definitely going to be playing that game, Alan Wake. It's my most anticipated game of 2023 since the beginning of the year.
Wow.
I love Alan Wake.
What are your
I'm a huge Wake head.
What a year. Do you think it could steal your game of the year, maybe? Do you think
absolutely.
It has? Okay.
The game of the year right now is Baldur's Gate 3, a game that I like. But the thing I don't like about it is a pretty big part of it, which is that I don't like that it's in the D&D universe because it feels lifeless. Yeah.
Never heard you say that.
Honestly, that's my biggest problem with it. If they had just made like Divinity 3 in that universe, I like that world a lot better, because D&D is just such a generic universe. That's really my big problem with that game. But Tears of the Kingdom, that game, both game of the year contenders in my book. But Alan Wake definitely has a chance to knock it off, because I love psychological thrillers. I love the weirdness of Remedy. I like unique games that show me something I've never seen before.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Baldur's Gate does a little bit of that with how crazy the choices and branching story paths are in that game. I would say that that's never been done in games before. Tears of the Kingdom does it in the level of freedom and building and discovery that you can do in that game. I think that's completely unprecedented.
I would say pushing the survival genre forward blows the doors off the genre on this one.
Not just pushing that genre forward, but doing things that are so weird that you would never expect to see them in a game, I think is so cool. So I'm very I'm bullish on this game possibly being my game of the year, just because it's been such a strong year for games.
Insane year. One of the years of gaming probably for a very long time. It's in one of the, it's got to be top.
Yeah, I think it'll take at least a decade, maybe two, for us to get to this point where something tops 2023.
Yeah, 2023 is
a crazy
nuts.
Year.
Well, I mean, you had Ghost Runner that I haven't even touched. That dropped as a 9 too.
Ghost Runner's a 9. Yeah,
Mitchell, can we really?
He knows shit. Yeah. And by the way, Mitchell reviewed the first one. I think he ended up giving it a 7 or 8, but he was like, I really like it, but it doesn't hit everything. And I played that game on his recommendation and absolutely loved it. So if Alan Wake weren't coming out in a couple hours, that would be my weekend game, because that game is so good, dude. The Ghost Runner games, they're
good. I actually Yeah, it was one of the first games, early games we covered. And I remember the developer, and I was like, "This is cool." I'm like, "Well, running
So
It's
fast
so
pace," and
fast, yeah.
like the developer was so proud. Like we had to close, but I was like, "Yo, this is dope." I was like, "Yo," in my mind, like, "You guys got something. You guys got something. It's no doubt one hit, one kill kind of thing." Foop, foop, foop. I was like, "All right." Now the new one seems to
I
have
love
fixed a
games
lot
like
of the
that.
issues. Improved upon.
Well,
Call it a wrap and go play some games.
yeah, seems like
Yeah.
seems like a good way to end up the show. So if
Yeah.
anybody plays, let me know. Open to chat about it. Don't spoil anything for anybody because this you don't get games like this very often. Please don't spoil it for anybody because it's just so much weird stuff. You got to see it for yourself. But on that note, you guys got any outros? I feel like mine's simple.
Yeah.
Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. That's where you'll find me.
Yeah, man.
I've got
What you got?
reviews. Apparently, right now, Lord of the Rings: Return to Moria final reviews coming out. I've got the Dead Island 2 review coming out next week. WarioWare review coming out next week, and a preview of a game I can't talk about coming out next week as well. So, all of which I finished this week. So I'm stoked about it.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I'll be getting on a plane early in the morning and for a wedding, so it's not gonna be much. I'll take the ally.
Go ahead. Tell us the names.
Yeah, I'll be at Colin Moriarty's wedding. You know, shout out to Colin, shout out to Micah, the holy matrimony. Cobra Commander gets married. He laughs when I call him Cobra Commander. So we get that popping.
I don't even know where that came from.
Because what it is we connect on because we're old and I'm older and GI Joes.
Well, I know it's GI Joe.
Oh, are you from the era?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm just like, why him?
I align with him because we both feel Cobra is cooler, and the fact that his name in most Discords and I think on Twitter he changed it now. It's Long Island Viper, and if you're a GI Joe fan, like everything was something Viper, Crimson Viper, this Viper, that kind of thing. So he's from Long Island, so I relate to the GI Joe references. You know what I'm saying? If it was just I'm from that era, so yeah, it should be fun. I'm looking forward to that, and then I'll probably put the wrapping touches on because I'm doing a Travis where I'm trying to 1,000 gamer score Starfield, and getting close to. Yeah, I'm over like 60% done with everything that I need to get, and I just gotta do some outpost stuff. But I just did I finished up 2 more faction quest lines, and I'll have that all done. I just wanted to do another option on the Crimson Fleet, and I wanted to see how that was going to go because I thought that was interesting choices. Whether I was gonna at this point, people play snitch or not. So yeah.
It's immoral.
Yeah. Well, I realize there's a character who you can't even get if you snitch on him, you can't get that character.
Well, that character sucks, but I actually think it's the morally wrong choice to side with the authorities in that one. I could go on a whole
I'm with you on that.
Worse.
Yeah, like it's some things I learned that I was just like, I'm not feeling y'all. Yeah, I was like, I'm not feeling.
Yeah, they try to make the Crimson Fleet such a heel. That's one of my criticisms with that storyline, that they make the Crimson Fleet like everyone's mean to you and they're just like meh. But like if you think about the actual politics of the world and what SysDef is willing to do to meet their ends and the amount of influence they exert versus Crimson Fleet's non-power probably will fall to infighting in a couple years level of success. I would debate anyone on the planet that SysDef is actually the worst option, morally speaking.
I'm with you. I am so with you.
Didn't expect that.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, one of my choices, I turned. My initial choice was I'm not rocking with y'all. Like I'm not. So yeah, but I will say the set pieces during that final stretch from a guy that likes space combat. Oh, I was having Wing Commander vibes. I was in the mix of my little, Star Trek thing.
That's
so
I'm having fun with it. Space battle in the game.
Yes. Oh, that hit so many notes for me as a space and a sci-fi guy. Oh, I love it. And then I got my skill where I got like 5 crew members, and it's crazy. I'm just having too much fun with it.
Well, it sounds like we're in no shortage of stuff to play. So take the weekend, take the next couple of months and try and play a few things. Because I'm going to have 2 months. I'm still not going to get to half my backlog ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for being here for the show. Start spreading the word. November 30th will be the big show. Will be the new season and Moria coming on. And I'll just keep saying that for the next month. Woo! Gentlemen, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Chat, it has been a pleasure for episode 270. Nice little round number there. It has been the last word.